Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick, and today I want to talk about how I separated my geckos, and I want to talk about if I'm done cohabbing or not. We'll see. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to say is hit that like button, go ahead, subscribe, and share with everybody if you do end up enjoying the video. So, getting into what I'm talking about, I moved all my geckos into tubs, except for a couple adults that are in this tub, this tub, this tub, and this tub for now. Or not tub, tank. Sorry, those are tanks. But I want to talk about why did I do that. Now, if you guys know, one of the most popular videos on my channel is how I have my massive Crested Gecko tank, and it had, I think at the time, like 6 females and 1 male, and it was planted nice and it was beautiful, and I showed you guys, like, just go watch the video if you want to learn about that. I kind of talk about cohab a little bit in there too. So the first thing I'm going to answer is am I done cohabbing? And the answer to that is yes and no. For the most part, I've separated everybody, and all the males do live on their own now. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 situations where 2 females are living together, but all the other females are in their own tubs right now. These females that are currently living together, they've been together since they were adults, and I haven't had any issues between them. All of them are around the same weight, and I haven't noticed any issues with them. The other females were females that we acquired over time that I just separated depending on breeding projects. And speaking of breeding projects, that kind of gets into why I truly chose to do this. The big reason I chose to do this is because when you have that many geckos, or you're cohabbing too many geckos, you don't really know who the mom is of the geckos, and you know, you're kind of guessing as to who could be the mom. You know who the dad is, but you don't know who the mom is, and that's kind of something that I decided that was important to me, so I decided to separate everybody. And I also wanted to kind of see if I separated everybody, would they be happier? Would they be healthier? Is there a difference? Is cohab really a big deal? Is it not a big deal? I can tell you that the females that do live on their own, they do just fine. They do about the same as females that live together. Now I do have to keep an eye more closely on my females that do live together, just to make sure everybody is eating and everybody's weight is where I need it to be. With 2 females together, I am able to track the eggs and who is laying, because I know my female cycles. And that kind of all goes back into being involved with your animals, and that's kind of the most important thing if you are going to cohabitate, is to be very involved with your animals. If you're not somebody who can be very involved with their weights, their cycles, everything that they do, then cohab is probably not something for you. The biggest reason that I kind of wanted to do this was I did want to give my my geckos kind of their own space, and it's something that I feel like with being on YouTube, I don't want a beginner to maybe watch that video and think that they can throw 7 geckos in a tank, because that tank was a lot of work when there were 7 geckos in it. And now with the females on their own, I can easily see who's eating. As soon as they lay, I know exactly whose eggs it is, I know who the father is. So that's something that was just very important to me, kind of going forward with breeding and just making sure that I'm doing everything the right way. So my new breeding plan for next season, though, is I'm going to take, let's say, Big Bertha here, and I'm going to put her with, let's say I decide to pair her with Mr. Butterworth next year. I'm going to take her and I'm going to put her with Mr. Butterworth for 1 week a month, or 3 to 5 days, or something like that, depending on how many females he has, and then I want to give him a week off at the end of it. So not necessarily 1 week a month, but once every 4 to 5 weeks, I want the female to be back in with the male. Now, this kind of goes into a whole nother topic that's not cohab. It goes into sperm retention and how long can your female hold on to a male sperm and produce viable eggs. For me, I found that it's about 2 months, maybe 3 months. But since we're producing a lot of eggs here and we are breeding a lot of our females, I would like them to have the highest chance of being fertile, as they're going to lay every 30 days regardless, just because we do breed them and we do pair them with males. So once they get paired with a male, they're going to be laying eggs for a while, and they're not always viable. So I just want to make sure that they have the best chance to lay viable eggs, and we're just going to see how it goes this year. I think it'll go good. I have my hopes that this will be easy. I know that other breeders do this. I know other breeders do some form of this, but this is just something I want to try out this year. And I think it's also kind of, I've noticed that some of my males have had an easier time putting on weight when they're not with the female all the time. So I've seen like one of our males, Waylon and Mr. Butterworth even, and Billy, they've all put on more grams in a month when they were alone than when they were with 2 or 3 females at a time. Now, I don't know if that's like super scientific data there or anything like that, but that's just my experience with it. So I definitely want to keep that up because it's important to me that my males kind of bulk, especially during this time right now. So that way when next season rolls around, they're going in strong and healthy and just ready to mate for us. So I guess to wrap this video up, am I against cohab? No, I'm not against cohab, but I am against cohab if you're just starting off. I don't think there's so much nuance that goes into cohab and understanding what the geckos are telling you that it's more important to kind of get one gecko on its own and learn how that gecko grows and learn the personality of that gecko, because every gecko's personality is going to be different. Some of our females that we have separated, they couldn't live with another female because they were too mean, but that's something that happens behind the scenes where I notice, oh, this female's showing behavior that I don't like, so I'm going to separate her. So it's kind of, like I said, it's a delicate situation. I wouldn't recommend cohabbing to anybody, so I'm not going to cohab as much. And if you do cohab, remember, when they're babies, you can cohab hatchlings till about 10 grams and you need to separate. And then after 40 grams, if it's 2 females and you want to put them in a 18 by 18 by 24, just make sure you have multiple hides and enough foliage for them to feel comfortable. Make sure you're weighing both of them and make sure they're maintaining the weight, because it's not as easy as just throwing a couple geckos together and hoping that they make it all work out. There's a lot of things, a lot of factors that you have to consider. I did make a video on cohab a couple months back if you guys want to check that one out too. But not against cohab, but I think you need to do a lot more research and have a little bit more experience before you just dive right into cohab. So with that said, that's the video, guys. If you did like the video, go ahead and give us a big thumbs up. Comment down below. I'd love to know your guys' opinions on this and what you think of me moving to tubs. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to try to start posting twice a week again here pretty soon. And that is it. So stay safe and stay positive, guys. I'll see you on the next one.